To inspect and replace the rear brakes on your Razor Turbo R, follow these steps. Park the vehicle on a flat level surface and ensure it is in park. Next, remove the tires from the vehicle. Begin by loosening the lug nuts while the vehicle is on the ground, but do not remove at this time. Then, safely elevate the vehicle. Reference your owner's manual for proper lifting techniques. Once safely elevated, remove the lug nuts and set aside. Then, remove the wheels and set aside. Next, loosen the pad adjuster screw, but do not remove. Then, remove the caliper fasteners. Next, remove and retain the lower radius rod fastener and nut, and position the rod out of the way. Then, remove and discard the upper and lower caliper mounting bolts. Use care to avoid damaging the brake line when removing the upper caliper fastener. Continue by carefully removing the caliper from the brake disc. Next, push the caliper piston into the caliper bore slowly, using a C-clamp or locking pliers until the piston does not move. Note that the brake fluid will be forced back into the master cylinder fluid reservoir and can cause it to overflow. Remove any excess fluid needed to prevent overflow, and wipe up any spills promptly to prevent paint damage. Then, squeeze the upper portion of the caliper mount inward and pivot the outer brake pad out between the bracket and caliper body. If the brake pads are difficult to remove, ensure the pad adjuster screw is loosened far enough to create the clearance needed to remove the pad. Repeat this for the inner pad as well. Next, disconnect the caliper mount from the caliper boots, and slide the caliper mount off the caliper. Before continuing, inspect the two caliper boots for tears or damage and replace as necessary. Then, ensure the caliper is supported with a wire hanger, rope, or retention strap to avoid damaging the brake line. Next, clean the mount pins with a shop rag to remove any old grease or debris. Then, lubricate the mount pins with a light film of grease. Continue by inspecting the brake pads for damage or wear and replace if necessary. Next, install the caliper mount pins into the two caliper boots, ensuring the boots are secured over the lip on the mount pin. To do this, press the caliper mount in and twist the boots while working them over the lip on the pins. Then, push the mounting bracket inward and pivot the inner brake in between the bracket and caliper body. Repeat this for the outer pad as well. Next, carefully slide the caliper assembly onto the brake disc, ensuring the brake rotor is between the two pads. Then, align the caliper with the mounting holes on the hub and install two new caliper fasteners. Continue by torquing the fasteners to specification. Before continuing, ensure any items used to secure the brake caliper are removed from the wheel well. Next, torque the caliper fasteners to specification. Then, tighten the set screw on the back of the caliper and turn the screw until the pads touch the brake disc. Continue by loosening the set screw a half turn to allow the brake disc to move. Next, align the radius rod with the mounting holes in the trailing arm. Reinstall the retained fastener through the rear and secure with the retained nut. And torque the fasteners to specification. Next, install the wheels on the vehicle and tighten the lug nuts until fully seated. Then, safely lower the vehicle until the tires begin to touch the ground. This will help keep the wheels in place when torquing. Once lowered, torque the lug nuts to specification in a crisscross pattern. Repeat this process for the other wheel. Next, lower the vehicle completely. Continue by verifying the fluid level in the reservoir is up to the max line inside the reservoir. Then, slowly pump the brake pedal multiple times until pressure has been built up. Maintain at least half of the brake fluid reservoir to prevent air from entering the brake system. Repeat this process for the brake pads on the other side of the vehicle as needed. Always replace brake pads in pairs on the same axle. If the pads were replaced, the brake burnishing procedure should be completed by slowly bringing the vehicle up to 30 miles per hour and gradually applying the brakes until stopped. Repeat this procedure 10 times while ensuring the brakes have had sufficient time to cool between runs to prevent brake disc warping. For more information, see your authorized Polaris dealer or visit Polaris.com.